What up gamers, I'm Jason, and today on Dice & Dragons, I'm going to be unboxing Tapestry by Stonemaier Games, designed by Jamey Stegmaier, with art by Andrew Bosley, and the sculpts in this game are designed by Ron Brown. Now, this is also published by Atoma Factory as well. They collaborated with Stonemaier Games for this civilization building game. Now, this is a game for 1 to 5 players, and it plays in about 90 to 120 minutes. What you're going to be doing is picking a civilization, which can vary from mystics to futurists. You're going to be competing against the other players along different tracks, such as militant and, or it could be military, drawing a little blank right there, as well as a technology track. And you're going to be trying to get the most milestones, as well as amassing the most points in order to be the most advanced civilization by the end of the game. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at what's in the box. Now let's take a look at what's in the box for Tapestry, a civilization game. Eager to see what the components are. We've definitely heard quite good things about the quality so far. So we'll just move the top over and give ourselves some room to take a look at the components. So we do get a nice, and I do like the quality of paper here. Looks like we've got a quick overview, explanation of the game. Then we've got some rules for solo play. Oh, it looks like I was mistaken. This is actually the rules for the game. Now, gotta say, I do like how slimmed down these rules are. We then have instructions for a Shadow Empire variant. Not sure what that means. I'm sure we'll be able to discuss it in our how to play. And we do have 2 reference guides that are of high quality cardstock. Now, if you do have a laminator like I do, you may want to laminate them to give them that extra level of protection, but this is, it's nice paper. It's not something that you need to do. Now, let's take a look at what we have here. Now, just a reminder for people that may have not seen my unboxings before, I do go into this completely blind. So I haven't read the rules. I haven't taken a look at anything. We'll see what we have here. We've got the entertainers. So these look to be the different types of civilizations. I love the fact that this has got a textured feel to it. Now, you may not be able to see it on the camera. So we've got entertainers, architects, craftsmen. One knows that they all have different abilities. Militants, leaders, merrymakers, isolationists, inventors, heralds, historians, futurists, traders, nomads, the chosen, and the mystics. So these are all the different civilizations, and they do have a different path in terms of how you're going to go about accomplishing your goals and scoring points to be victorious. Now, we do have the game board, which is sealed in plastic. That's not my favorite way to ship it, but I do understand why, because we've got a lot of small components here, and usually these other things would be wrapped in plastic as well, so it's not a bad decision to keep everything together. Probably makes for easier shipping and packaging. It does open fairly easily, so no complaints in that regards. So we'll just get rid of all the plastic. We'll start by taking a look at the game board itself. Now it does the board, as you can see, so we'll start just from the top, move all the way up till we can see the bottom. So we've got 4 tracks that are on there. Exploration, which is the blue one that I've just moved off. We've got science, we've got technology, and then the top track is military. Now we've got this small island here, and then there's another side to the board where we have a much bigger space, and you can see right there the exploration for those of you that may have missed it. So it looks like we do have the setup to play smaller games and shorter games, but you can play longer games as well. Now we've got what are clearly tiles to go on the board, even some space tiles, which is pretty cool. As you can see, that just happened accidentally. Fairly easy to punch out and looks great on the board. But you have 2 of those that are wanting to get to the table. So these are all of the different hexagons that we're going to be able to place during the game. Now it looks like we've got some rules for the automata. So this looks like normal and hard mode with the automata. So if you're playing it solo, we've got instructions for the technology, military, exploration, and science track. Well, not instructions, but a board. I'm sure it gives us some instructions. We've got what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5-player boards. This is a 5-player game. They are all identical. And once again, this part here has got some nice texturing. So really good quality components. Same thing for the normal and the hard mode. Well, the hard is smooth, but the normal is textured. So very cool. Quite happy with the components. We've got some dice that are proprietary dice, so make sure you don't lose them. And on the die, we've got different symbols. They all seem to relate to the different tracks that we have in the game. And then this is just a 6-sided die. Well, you got a 7 here, but a 6-sided die. Not sure quite what all the values are. Same thing with this one. Looks to be maybe hexagon, rewards, different things that are going to be coming up as you play the game. Place these dice right over there. Here we've got some of the different terrains. Once again, really nice feel to all these components. So mountain, wetland, tropical, desert, grassland, and forest. Also some spots here for other components. Eager to see what those are. One thing that I absolutely love, plastic bags to organize and sort your game. I really love having these pre-included. Saves myself a lot of time and a lot of effort in terms of getting everything organized. You also typically get bags that fit a little bit better. Now, there it is. So there we go. That's one thing that is a complaint of mine on a lot of games. Fairly difficult to open up the cards. That does not seem to be the case with these ones, which I do like. So here we've got a few different cards, so different eras, Age of Wonders, Alliance. So these are different cards that can be played during the game. Diplomacy, Dictatorship. So advance on any track and gain the benefit. You may pay to gain the bonus. Opponents may not advance on that track until your next turn. So different things that you can do to really push your society ahead. And everything is fairly thematic. Well, not fairly, it's very thematic to different things across the years. Militarism, monarchy, oil magnate, being an Olympic host, pillaging and plundering, terraforming, something from the future, tyranny, wartime economy. So very cool. Then we do also have some double-sided cards here. So all of these are the same. Just put this right there. And then we've got, looks to be some reference cards, and then just some different levels, level 1, level 4, scientists and engineers. So conquerors, explorers. Not quite sure when these cards are going to come into play, but it's quite obvious that they will definitely be something that is not going to be used by all civilizations, but I think just specific ones. So you're going to find out when we get this to the table, which will hopefully be sooner rather than later. Now let's take a look at this second stack of cards. So once again, 2 reference cards. Now these all look to be some different types of resources and technology. So let's take a look at what we have here. Air conditioning, ammonia, anesthesia, assembly line, bakery. So these cards here with the yellow back are all the different types of technology cards and things that we can earn, which is pretty cool. We've got a nice variety here from the nail to time travel. I think that illustrates it very well. Now, these I'm not quite sure what they are, but they look to have different aspects in terms of resources or maybe combat, but I'm going to guess resources, as it does show some stuff for the hexagonal grid, maybe some of the layout of different tiles as you're going ahead and playing the game. So we'll put this off to the side, as well as the reference cards. We now have a protector. Now we just need to remove. And so far, no complaints about the insert. And we have these really cool 3D buildings, which I like. I also like the fact that they're either painted, they don't look painted, but they do look like they're all molded in this plastic already. There's even a lot of texture, and as someone that just really doesn't have the time to paint, I really like seeing this high level of components, because this is some type of communications tower, as that was some type of futuristic tower. Everything down here seems to be very futuristic. Not quite sure what all these different buildings represent, except for this one here. We definitely have a shuttle, and very cool looking shuttle. Love the detail that you can see on the bases of each of these minis. Very cool. Minis or terrain. One neat thing about this is if you are playing a miniatures game, you can probably steal this terrain and use it in said game. We've got something from more less modern times that we were just looking at. Pretty cool. Standard farmhouse with rail, it looks like. Here we've got a barn, or, well, it looks more like almost a old-style factory. Once again, lots of detail on the base. Actually, I'm going to probably put this in like this. They're just going to move around a little less. It looks like we got a cool house, but almost a city hall or town center. Well, here it sticks up. The other two are fine. Now, this is definitely a barn or a farmhouse. Well, I'll call it a barn. I think that's definitely more accurate. We do have another more futuristic building here, and not quite sure what this one represents, but once again, great components. Here we've got definitely a factory. Looks very cool. We've got some earlier buildings, so we can get a starting hut. Looks like moving from there, we can get some upgrades from our hut to a basic house. A nicer house, or an equivalent level house. We'll have to find out when we play the game. Here we've got what looks to be like a forge. So pretty cool. Next we have, not quite sure what this is, but almost could be a dungeon or something else. Then I'm guessing that this is a lighthouse, which it definitely looks like, and no complaints, the components are awesome. Now, rather than opening all of these up, it does look like we've got 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of those, 2 of these. So these are all, so those are a little different, whereas we got 4 different colors. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different colors. So those are going to be more generic, but we also have these components too. So you know what I'm going to do, I don't always do on unboxings, but the fact of the matter with regards to how the packages came in, I'm going to move these cards off camera, and I'm going to take a look at the components and also just bag them up. It'll give me a chance to showcase them, but also get them in some plastic bags where they're not going to get lost or go all over the place. Now we've got the blue components. Now these are all the same, as well as some blue tracking cubes. I'll place that down here. Let's grab the bags, which I'll also remove off camera. We'll just start rebagging them. I don't think I need that big one. And good quality plastic, actually. So these are nice bags. So here we have the blue components. One thing I would say, it'd be nice if they maybe had a hole in them just to make it a little easier to repackage the components, but stuff. Now, all of these 5 bags that we have here, it's looking like all the components are exactly identical in terms of shape. So these are the ones that are going to be for each of the different players. Try not to get them to go everywhere. That one really just didn't want to come out. So we've got your reddish orange. Once again, we got the cube, and then these other buildings, which I'm not quite sure what they're going to be used for. Just grabbing the bag. We've got the green, and I had to run away. I actually like the shade of green. It's different. It's not the green that you typically see in board game. So very cool. Maybe I'll actually just leave these in front. It's just a little easier to grab, even if it's blocking the view and not making it as cool to take a look at the awesome buildings that we have in the game. I do feel like the use of that orangish red, the different color green should probably also help, and could be wrong. So if anyone has any experience with this, maybe I'll actually be able to ask Sammy G about it at some point, if it actually helps for players that may be colorblind. So we've got the yellow, once again, the yellow component, yellow cubes, nice bright color. That's one thing I do like about all the player colors. We've got bright colors as well as a white gray. So something that should stand out and be fairly easy to identify on the game board, which is always a plus. Here we've got our gray components. Oh, and this one wants to join the buildings, but too bad, you're going with your cousins. I was thinking about saying brothers and sisters, but you know what? Competitive, so probably more cousins at this point. All right. The next, now these are all different, and I'm guessing they have these different buildings are going to show up as we move through the ages, or they're going to be upgrades that you can get. So again, I've got no experience with the game. I haven't taken a look at the rule book. So here we've got these red huts. They're all identical. They have a really nice feel to them. Really good quality components, and that's one thing that I've been impressed of from Stonemaier Games in the beginning. We do have a copy of Charterstone that we have not yet managed to get to the table for a variety of reasons. We were hoping to do that over the course of the last few months, but yeah, reality kind of decided it had different plans for us. But first time I opened it up, I was definitely really impressed by the quality of the components. So here we've got these different houses. I really like the level of detail. Now, I don't know if you'd really want to paint any of these, but quite clearly the other ones came out quite nice. So I'm not quite sure what these components are used for, but I'm sure if you wanted to take on the task of painting them, you would get a really, really nice outcome from painting these. And as you can see so far, everything's going back quite nicely into the box. I'm starting to run out of bags here, but I think I've got enough for what I need to accomplish. Now, I can always rebag everything afterwards. I think those need to be separate, but perhaps these different huts can go together just based on what they're used for. For the moment, I'm going to keep them separate. So, actually, just for right now, what I will do, and I'm just looking at the components, we're actually going to put the gray ones and the yellow ones together. I'll mix the other two together as well, because I'm guessing that they're going to be used in every game. Sorting them is not going to be all that difficult. So, cool little hut. Almost reminds me of a fishing shack on an ice lake. So we'll put these together. Actually works fairly well. Combine brown and the red. Let's take up a little bit more room, but a little bit of creativity in terms of organizing. We'll make sure we got the room that we need to store everything. If we can get this down into a little bit smaller. So you're getting a little bit of an unboxing and reboxing here. Now, as you can see, I wanted to have one more small bag for these other components, which I just sent everywhere. Good job, Jason. So, like I said, we do this live, no rehearsing, no preparation. We like to show everyone what your experience is going to be with regards to unboxing a game. Now, probably won't get everything everywhere, but it'll happen. Now, you notice that all these different symbols were visible on the die that we're going to be rolling, so not quite sure what they mean, but we'll add them to the bag with the dice just so we've got them all nicely organized in one spot. We've got some room for this stuff at the end. We got the two bags. Let's get this a little more compressed, just so that everything should fit in. Now we've got two more bags here. So what I'm going to do is, these are both the same size actually. So for the moment, I actually might use some other bags I have that are just a little bit better for cards, but as I said, I like to use what's included in the game. I'll store the cards like this. As we've now gone through all of the components for the game, so let's get everything put back in the box. Get rid of the tape. We've got our two wayward ones here. We've got our guides, we've got our civilization. So with the cards lying flat, so far looking good. So once we do punch and sort everything, I'm sure we'll be able to make room, but I always do like when a game goes back together very nice and neat. So there you have it. Those are the components for Tapestry. Now keep it right here as I'll be coming back at you with a quick outro. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you like what you saw, don't forget to click that like button, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when our next video is released. Also, down below in the video description, you will find links to all of our social media feeds: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You want to hear what's up with Dice and Dragons? Check out Facebook. Like to see some pictures of us playing Tapestry when we get into the table? Well, check out Instagram, but we'll have those on Twitter and Facebook as well. Now, popping up in front of me will be links to some related videos. Well, one may or may not be related. The one right here will take you to our most recently released video. The one here will eventually take you to our review on how to play of Tapestry when it's released. Till then, it'll be something that I think qualifies as a civilization game, or at least somewhat related. And until the next time you're here, don't forget, keep playing games.